All right. Hello, everybody. It is Tuesday.
Hello.
Today's going to be a little bit different. We're in there. We have a 3-part parallel, but it's extremely long. And there's a lot of commentary. So it'd be like a 20-minute video, and some of the platforms that we post on gets a little bit difficult for us to do such things. So if you can just bear with us for the next couple of readings, we're just going to read the first part of it. It's all talking about Jesus sends demons into a herd of pigs. And so we're just going to take it one book at a time, read it, post it, and hopefully, it won't get all lost in the wash when we put it all together. So anyway, we're going to start in Matthew chapter 8, starting in verse 28. When Jesus arrived on the other side of the lake, in the region of the Arnas, 2 men who were possessed by demons met him. They lived in a cemetery and were so violent that no one could go through that area. They began screaming at him, "Why are you interfering with us, Son of God? Have you come here to torture us before God's appointed time?" There happened to be a large herd of pigs feeding in the distance, so the demons begged, "If you cast us out and send us into that herd of pigs, all right, go." Jesus commanded them. So the demons came out of the men and entered the pigs, and the whole herd plunged down the steep hillside into the lake and drowned in the water. The herdsmen fled to the nearby town, telling everyone what happened to the demon-possessed men. Then the entire town came out to meet Jesus, but they begged him to go away and leave them alone. Now the commentary. The region of the hang on, let's try one more time. Gadarens is located southeast of the Sea of Galilee, near the town of Gadara, one of the most important cities of the region. Gadara was a member of the 10 towns with independent governments that were largely inhabited by Gentiles. Demon-possessed people are under the control of one or more demons. Demons are fallen angels who joined Satan in his rebellion against God and are now evil spirits under Satan's control. They help Satan tempt people into sin and have great destructive powers. But whenever they are confronted by Jesus, they lose their power. These demons recognize Jesus as God's Son, which is also will be in Mark 8:29. But they didn't think they had to obey him. Just believing is not enough. Faith is more important than belief. By faith, you accept what Jesus has done for you, receive him as the only one who can save you from sin, and live out your faith by obeying his commands. Matthew says there were 2 demon-possessed men, while Mark and Luke refer to only one. Apparently, Mark and Luke mention only the man who did the talking. According to Jewish ceremonial laws, the men Jesus encountered were unclean in 3 ways. They were Gentiles, which means non-Jews. They were demon-possessed, and they lived in the tombs. Jesus helped them anyway. We should not turn our backs on people who are unclean or repulsive to us, or who violate our moral standards and religious beliefs. Instead, we must realize that every human individual is a unique creation of God, needing to be touched by his love. The Bible tells us that at the end of the world, the devil and his angels will be thrown into the lake of fire that burns with sulfur. That's in Revelation 20, verse 10. When the demons asked if Jesus had come to torture them before God's appointed time, they showed they knew their ultimate fate. When the demons entered the pigs, they drove the animals into the sea. The demons' actions proved their destructive intent. If they could not destroy the men, they would destroy the pigs. Jesus' action, by contrast, shows the value he places on each human life. Why did the people ask Jesus to leave? Unlike their own pagan gods, Jesus could not be contained, controlled, or appeased. They feared Jesus' supernatural power, a power that they had never before witnessed, and they were upset about losing a herd of pigs more than they were glad about the deliverance of the demon-possessed men. Are you much more concerned about property and programs than people? Human beings are created in God's image and have eternal value. How foolish and yet how easy it is to value possessions, investments, and even animals above human life. Would you rather have Jesus leave you than to finish his work in you?
Pretty straightforward, but yet a hard concept.
It is.
You know.
And we here in America, at least, and we see it a lot of, especially in politics, how people of faith, they carry guns and will defend their homes and their families, and unbelievers, will say, well, you value, your pets, your family, anything than a human life. And I think we are called by God also to defend. We're called to defend the widows and orphans, and it's hard for me, it'd be very hard for me even as a believer, just to have somebody burst into my home and threaten my family, and me just to say, oh yeah, sure, here, go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, it's a tough thing to.
Well, it is biblical to protect your family.
Yeah.
I mean, that's biblical. God's told people to protect their family in different ways, but some of that did include war.
Yeah.
To protect their nation and their family. So I don't think that that's the issue.
Well, and to say that self-defense is not biblical is that, remember, Jesus sent out the disciples the first time and said, don't even take your cloak, nothing, just go out there and do it. And then after they came back and he sent them out a second time, he said, now take a sword.
Right.
Why would I need a sword if I'm, to defend yourself? Because the evil in this world, if there's no defense against the evil in this world, it would completely overrule everything. And we, as believing Christians, with the help of God and only by God's power, can we hold back the evil tide.
Right.
We're
not strong enough.
And it's not by our power by any means, but I'm just saying that, you have to defend.
Yeah.
There are things. I mean, Jesus defended the honor of the temple with a whip, and he cracked it on people. So there's righteousness in some things, but just to go shoot somebody in cold blood, that's obviously not.
Right.
Even war, God sent people to war, so obviously, there's a time for all that. But
now, I take from this passage too that even the demons know who God is, and respect him enough to know that he's over them.
Yeah.
But because they don't choose them as they don't choose him as their savior, they don't,
Right.
That's the whole issue. It's not that they don't know who he is.
Yeah.
Even demons know who he is.
And they shudder because they know
they're scared of him.
Yeah. As they should be.
So that you can be a good person and know who he is by the books and stuff like that, but until you give your life to him, that's the crossing point.
Yeah.
You got to acknowledge him as a savior, that he took your price, and he beat it by coming back to life.
Yep.
So that's kind of the difference there.
And I guess, should you ever come across anybody that you feel is, any kind of evil, it doesn't matter. Just know that they acknowledge they've already lost.
Mm-hmm.
They know their fate. They're not happy about that by any means, but I'm just saying they know their fate. They know they've already lost. Us, need to acknowledge the fact that we've already won.
Yeah.
It's already been done. We are just waiting to see the proof of it, but the game has already been played. The ending's already been told. There is no changing it anymore, and they know that. And they're just trying what they can to do as much damage as possible.
Mm-hmm. Take as many down with them.
Yeah, but they've already lost.
Yeah.
So there's no point in hanging out with the losers. So, all right. Hope everybody has a glorious day, and we'll talk to you later.